Good morning, everyone, for Thursday, August the 28th.
Yeah.
Can't believe it's the 28th, and we're down here together with Sam and myself, Joe, um, both mortgage agents and brokers here at the downtown Barrie waterfront. Nice day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great day. We had a little spot of rain, but it looks like it's cleared up.
Yeah, it definitely started raining. We didn't know what we were going to do for a
That's
little while
right.
there. But yeah, we got a good spot here,
Mhm.
beautiful view, and what a great city Barrie, Ontario is.
Yeah, it's really, really nice.
I know that, yeah. So what do you think about Barrie? You moved here like over 2.5 years ago now.
Yeah, it's definitely really nice. I mean, it's close enough to Toronto because where I was before was just outside of Ottawa. So it felt kind of difficult to actually do things. Not too much going on in Ottawa. So
Yeah,
Barrie's definitely got a little bit more excitement and more going on, and just being down the road from Toronto is really nice as well. Yeah.
yeah. Definitely down the road from Toronto. I mean, you can go down there on the 400, and I know they're
Yeah.
expanding that highway,
hmm
which is really good for Barrie. And you got the GO train.
Yeah, that's right.
Have you tried that out yet?
I haven't tried the GO train yet. No, but I think I'm pretty familiar with all the street names in Barrie, which
Yeah.
is nice. 2.5 years, get familiar with some of them, and yeah.
That's good.
Mhm.
That's good. Yeah, Barrie's got some good waterfront too. Where you grew up, did you have much of a waterfront area, or?
Yeah, not really too much where we were. It was kind of like almost marshy areas. I mean, Ottawa has, the Ottawa River,
Yeah.
and we have the Rideau Canal coming through where I'm from in Smiths Falls, but not too much, large bodies of water. So it's cool
Yeah.
to be right on Lake Simcoe here in Barrie.
Yeah. Now, do you do any kayaking or canoeing or any water activities like that you enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, my wife has her family has a cottage up in
That's right.
up in Muskoka near Gravenhurst. So yeah, it's right on the lake, so we like to do a lot of canoeing, and very recently we've all gotten into paddleboarding, which
Oh yeah.
has actually been quite fun. It's kind of funny at first; you're trying to figure out your balance, but once
Yeah.
you've got it, it's really interesting and a lot of fun to do. Yeah.
Yeah, the balance part looks really difficult to me.
Yeah.
Whenever I see someone doing that, I know with canoeing, I have a really hard time pivoting to keep my balance. Sometimes I'll actually crash the canoe.
Yeah.
So you've been pretty good on the paddleboard?
Yeah. Once you get the hang of it, it's okay. I mean, it's always a little bit nerve wracking when a boat goes by, and
Yeah.
you got to kind of balance for the wake behind their boat. But
Yeah.
it's definitely a lot of fun. You should try it out.
I will have to do that. Well, in case you're tuning in just now, this is Sam Thompson. He's a mortgage agent with Mega Mortgage here. He's been with us for just about 2.5 years now. Started in March of 2020.
2020.
Can't believe it's gone this fast. And my name is Joe Bladek, and we're here at the Barrie waterfront for a special episode today. And instead of talking about mortgage news or exciting things like the bond yield or the CDOR rates, I know you guys are going to have to wait and pause your excitement on that this week.
That's right.
We're not even going to talk about the average national house price. We've talked a lot about that over the last number of months, haven't we, Sam? So
Yeah.
we'll shift the spotlight today over to Sam, and just get to know him a little bit today, and a little bit more intimately, and see what's going on. So one of the things, I have some questions to ask you today. Tell me what the mortgage industry has been like for you thus far.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been, I feel like a very steep learning curve. When I first started back in, very early March, I didn't have too much experience in the industry.
Yeah.
And then to top that all off, I think I was only at our physical office in Barrie for maybe 3 days or so before we got, the
Yeah.
COVID lockdown announcements. So a lot of the learning process and, the way that mortgages were handled, documents were handled, all of that, I was there for sort of the transition period when everything kind of switched to online. So it's been, definitely a very exciting industry for me because I was there for a lot of the changes, and I got to see, a lot of the super steep, rate drops. I was working with rates that, it seemed normal to me, that
That's
variable
right.
rates were super low, and
Yeah.
fixed rates were, percent, or even actually, by the time last. It's definitely been an exciting and ever-changing industry since I started back in March.
Yeah, it definitely has. I remember those times, right? We had the rates. I mean, they started out around 3.5% when you first started, and then we just continued going down after that and down after that, and and you were part of all of that, and we did notice that there was a jump in business during that time as well, because everyone was trying to get these low rates and securing, like you said, fixed rates under 2%.
Yeah.
Something I've never seen in my time in the industry as well. So yeah, great to see you witness that, and then as a result, you've also seen house prices run up considerably.
Yeah, pieces talking about house prices, on a huge skyrocket and rates dropping. So it was definitely interesting to see that, very firsthand, and to get to be like actually in the market when all these changes were happening was really quite interesting.
Yeah, it probably was for you. I mean, is that sort of what you even expected to see getting into the industry?
Not really, actually. I guess I figured it would be, more of a standard or an expectant job field. Like I had an assumption that, every mortgage is going to be different, which we know is very true. It's hard to find two mortgages that are just, start, middle, and end. Usually the middle gets a little crazy. But yeah, I think it was definitely different than my expectation, just because it felt like it was ever changing. And then even in the last, since the start of 2022, we've seen rates were changing almost a few times during the same week. So there was a lot of movements and a lot of change happening.
It's like we've seen a lot of the opposite happening since you started, right?
Yeah.
When you started, the rates were going down, house prices were going up. Now rates. And we're looking at all this here. Tell me a little bit about. There we go. We are good. Tell me a little bit about why, like, what were some of the reasons you got into the industry?
Yeah. So I was interested, in the process, and kind of dipping my toe in the, the sort of a real estate bubble.
That's right.
Between the different job fields that were there, and I know that, something that drew me in that I really did enjoy was, when I started working with you, Joe. I think one of my very first days with you was actually at one of the first-time buyer seminars.
Yeah, which we were running quite a lot at that time.
Yeah, exactly. It was a big component of what you were, had running. And I really enjoyed that process of being able to, sort of inform first-time buyers and get to be part of that process with them to, give them tips, help clear out some misconceptions, give them some groundwork or position to go from there. And I think that's kind of where I slotted in and I fit in the team for the first bit. There was really being a component in all of the first time. Again, there was one seminar before COVID hit and we switched to webinars. But
that's right. Yeah.
Hosting a lot of those first-time buyer webinars with a lot of different realtors as well.
Yeah, that was nice to have you on those and to see the transition, because you were part of that whole transition of our office going from seminars to webinars. We had never really done webinars before, and we did those consistently all throughout 2020.
Yeah.
And we had quite a bit of people coming, even for webinars. Sometimes during the day we were running them. People
Yeah,
were
that's
off
right.
work or at work and joining these webinars. So that was kind of neat. And yeah, we had a lot of real estate agents. So you got to meet a lot of realtors in the market.
Yeah, exactly. It was definitely, a lot of connection, even though everything had shifted from in person to, online and webinars. There was still lots of connection and lots of opportunity to, meet lots of different people in the industry, as well as, tons of clients and first time buyers that were just looking for those first steps.
Yeah, definitely. I guess out of all that, what has been one of your most memorable moments from that whole experience there?
Oh, that's a good question. Um,
Yeah, it is a good question. It's hard to pick, right? Because there's so many different.
yeah. Um, definitely um, being able to be, at one of the in-person seminars, and also, yeah, just being a part of the webinars and seeing all the questions coming in where,
Yeah,
they were questions that I myself had for sure, and I didn't have an answer, and, kind of having that click and seeing in clients when we're doing these webinars when it kind of clicks for them
that's
of,
right. Yeah,
okay, I don't need 20% down, or, some of these things that we would consider simple. um, it was really memorable to be able to, help highlight those areas for clients. And yeah, there's been lots of really awesome memories over the last few years for sure.
yeah, yeah. And
Hard
with
to
that,
pick one.
yeah, that's right. It is hard to pick one. I definitely see that. You've been part of a lot of different files. You've been part of a lot of
Mhm.
different presentations, a lot of different educational webinars, like you're saying. Just putting that information out there, and also you picked up quickly, which was really nice because you were able to communicate that and give our clients an idea of how to get a mortgage
Mhm.
and exactly what they need to do, especially for folks that are bankrupt and gone through a consumer
Yeah.
proposal. You worked a lot with people that have been coming to us wanting to buy their first home, but their credit have been damaged, and you
Yeah.
help them get set up to get that all done and reestablished as well.
Hmm.
So after seeing all that so far, the last couple of years and a half, do you think now? I mean, a lot of our clients come to us and they think it's easy to get a mortgage still.
Yeah.
And they think, oh yeah, I'll just give you a pay stub and away we go.
Yeah.
Do you think it's easy to get a mortgage in Canada?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that if you're working with a broker, it's not necessarily easy for the broker, but it is pretty easy to attain a mortgage. Um, because the process is going to be different for each client. So depending on what their savings are, their purchase goal, their credit, like.
They have been able to get mortgages, as you know. You've worked on
Yeah.
a lot of first-time home buyer clients that we had been working on,
Mhm.
and help them get into a home.
Yeah, exactly. And that's again where, definitely um, working as a, mortgage agent compared to just like a mortgage advisor at a bank. It was also interesting to see, and part of where I was saying that, it's easier for the client to get a mortgage is we've seen in a lot of areas, where one method or one option doesn't work. Usually, when we're processing it as a team, Joe, you usually have like 2 to 3 alternative options of different lenders that we can work with, or different
Yeah.
ways that we can make the file work. So in that sense, I would say, using a broker and definitely working, with Joe and Terry Lynn at the office, I think it is relatively simple to get a mortgage just because you're not presented with, here's the option, you either qualify or you don't. But I think the approach that you like to take is offering, 2 to 3 at least options of different ways to proceed,
Yeah,
which I think definitely takes some stress off of the client and makes it easier for them.
sounds good. Yeah, that's exactly it. I like to present options,
Hmm.
especially if the client's not able really to do anything right now. Let's take a look at a couple different ways we can get you there,
Yeah,
and let the client be in the driver's seat with how they want to proceed, right?
yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, that's really good. And is there anything particularly that you've enjoyed about being a licensed mortgage agent?
Yeah, I mean, definitely seeing the process and getting, some insights. I feel like I've picked up, tons of information about mortgages that I had no idea of,
Yeah.
before starting. So I feel like even just that learning process has been, huge for myself, just, moving forward and being able to take that with me. It was a lot of information that I really didn't know before. Um, and yeah, obviously, like all of the different connections. I mean, it's hard to not get fixated on certain
Mhm.
clients. When you're working on their file, you do feel very connected because it's a trusted position to
Yeah.
assist someone with their mortgage. So it definitely feels connecting to, a lot of different people, whether they're in the industry or, if they're just a client that's hoping to get a mortgage. It's cool to be, a part of that process with them.
Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah.
Hmm.
And to see it through, it's almost like we become best friends with the clients.
Yeah.
And then when they get their keys, we never hear from them again.
Yeah, that's right.
So, a little bit of a ghosting experience,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's always a very fulfilling experience.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Um, what are some of the challenges that you see in the mortgage industry going forward?
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think we've already seen some clients, have challenges with the stress test. Like we're seeing the fixed rates coming down, which is softening the stress test a bit. But I think that has been an issue for a lot of clients qualifying. When we saw this rate spike, clients
Yeah.
are now being stress tested at upwards of 7.5%, which it does become a challenge for a lot of clients to get into the market.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, it definitely does. I definitely agree with you there.
Hmm.
Because for a while there, when we were doing mortgages at 1.8, 1.9, 2.5%, we were
Yeah.
being stress tested at the benchmark, which is what 5.14 or
Yeah.
5.24, whatever it's at the time.
Yeah.
And now it's plus 2% because some of the rates are above 5.24%.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like you're saying, 7.5%, that's quite a high stress test. And with people that are making a lot of income,
Mhm.
it's just not sometimes working for them.
Yeah.
So even people that do make high incomes are looking at getting co-signers these days.
Yeah, exactly. It's tough and it's a hard spot because as much as it does make
Okay. Get back on live. Oh, we're still going. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so we're back on. Back on. Excellent. So we'll just do it like that. Think we're back on? Excellent. Okay. Well, yeah, so where were we at? I was just saying, what are you going to be up to next week, Sam?
Yeah, absolutely. So for a lot of people who aren't aware, because I don't know if we've ever announced, but so this has been a sort of a part-time position, helping out with mortgages, doing that mainly through the week, and on the weekends I've also been working as a youth pastor for a local church in Barrie. So yeah, looking forward to next week. I'll be entering to that as more of a full-time role, and keeping some options open. But definitely, as we're rolling into fall tends to be a very busy season for our church, especially because we're so close to Muskoka. We usually keep the summers kind of relaxed and start a lot of activities and a lot of new things starting in the fall. So I'll be stepping more full-time into that mission.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's really exciting, and it's something that is probably with what you want to do long term, by the sounds of it, because you've kept both at the same, and that's probably been hard for you at the same time.
Yeah, it's definitely presented some challenges, having sort of one foot in each camp. And, as much as, this experience, in the mortgage industry, and especially with, Joe and Terry Lynn on the team, it's been a really amazing process and an amazing team to work with. But at the same time, I still feel, nudged, and still feel like a lot of my passions still lie in ministry, and continuing to pursue that full time. So
Awesome.
yeah, it feels like the timing's kind of right to make that jump into full time.
Wow. Well, that's definitely a big shift for you. I'm sure
Mhm.
it's going to present a lot of new opportunities for you
Mhm.
in your new position, in your new role, going in full time there.
Yeah.
So that's what you're going to be up to next week. I was going to ask what you're going to do with your extra time, but I guess you will have no extra time. You'll be jumping right in.
That's right. Yeah. Ministry is very relational, so a lot of the time isn't necessarily at a desk, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, but it's definitely still very full and very busy with meetings and cell groups and a lot of different activities that are going on, and especially, this fall, seeing the schedule and what's coming down the pipe for our church for, even in here.
Yeah.
There's some big changes that are coming that we're hoping to get more involved in, myself and my wife. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot. If there is downtime, maybe I'll uh, just keep playing guitar, do fun stuff that I enjoy for sure.
Sounds great. Well, that is really exciting to hear. So if anyone wants to catch Sam Thompson uh, on online, I guess we won't be able to catch you here on these episodes going forward. But where can people find you if they want to find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So our church is called Catch the Fire Barrie. So we meet at Timothy Christian School just out on Essa Road. And it is streamed onto Facebook and YouTube each Sunday service. So usually either, myself or my wife are involved in some part of the service. So if you're looking to, stay tuned weekly with what I'm up to, checking it out on Sunday at about 10:30, we'll be on Facebook and YouTube with a new service every week.
Well, that's exciting, and
Yeah.
so you'll be there. I know you play on the team there, so
Mhm.
you'll be playing the guitar sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll be speaking.
Yeah.
I know that you've done a good job with the seminars and webinars, so
Mhm.
that experience is very translational that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely, I feel like public speaking has been something that, even subconsciously has definitely expanded,
Yeah.
on my resume between, different announcements or speaking opportunities at our church to, hosting and co-hosting, a lot of these webinars and seminars. So yeah, it's definitely been a building process from both of the positions.
Right on. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm going to wish you well then as you endeavor on that new endeavor
Yeah.
going forward, starting next week.
Mhm.
And for all our viewers of Canadian Mortgage Weekly, Canada's only video mortgage news weekly podcast, what would you like to tell our viewers if there's anything you want to tell them at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, well, just thank you for being a audience and tuning into our videos, because it does take quite a lot of planning to have content for 94 videos of Canadian Mortgage Weekly. So again, thank you guys for tuning out and being receptive to our videos, because it honestly has been a lot of fun. Recording these videos in each of the episodes we've done, very different locations, different styles, and it's definitely been an exponential process from the very first we were chatting before we started. The questions with Joe, and then there was a few videos of just us. So again, yeah, thank you all that watch for sticking with the process and getting to see us grow on Canadian Mortgage Weekly.
Right on. Well, that's exciting. So thanks for sharing today, Sam, about a little bit about what your time with Mega Mortgage has been like, a little bit about what your experience has been like in the industry in general, where you see the industry headed, also with our clients, how that experience has been, and just also sharing with us our plans going forward. So if anyone is interested, they can catch Sam going forward at Catch a Fireberry, and just check it out there. And going forward, I guess next week we have we'll have a new type of format that we're going to be plugging into. So we will keep Canadian Mortgage Weekly live going. Join us next week for a different kind of format. We'll be choosing some new ideas. It will give us an opportunity to try a few new things going forward. So yeah, don't forget to follow, like, comment, and share the video to help this episode and other episodes that we've done in the past get out there.
Yeah.
I know we've done other episodes like the Canadian Mortgage videos, where we react to other videos and all that. So those will be shifting as well, just to let everyone know to expect a little bit of a different format going forward. So is there anything else I wanted to ask? I don't think so. We're already half an hour in. Wow.
Okay.
Amazing. So next week will be September 1st. That'll be the next Thursday. And then don't forget, September 7th, we have a rate announcement, which I'll continue with the pre-rate show and rate announcement following after. I know that we have a lot of lead up to this rate announcement. We've seen a lot of news about it, a lot of projections of what's going to happen. I guess my final question to you, Sam, is do you think that rates are going up or down on September the 7th, and by how much?
Wow. Okay, so it went up 100 basis points at the last meeting. We're getting towards the end of the year, but their goal is to tackle inflation. So I'm going to say we're going to see another rate hike, an increase of either, I want to say 50 to 75 basis points. I'm just going to put that out there.
Put that out there. All right, everyone, we have a 50 to 75 basis point increase. I actually feel the same way in that general area. And I'm actually thinking this, before I say that, do you think this will be the last rate increase?
I think so. I think that it's been a pretty aggressive push for the increases that, I think maybe their long-term goal is to still monitor the rate, and we might see some rate hikes in the new year. But I think if they do another rate hike, that's probably all that they can manage for, buyers and homeowners who are in a variable rate. I think this will be the last one for the year, I think.
Excellent news. Okay. So join us next week on September 1st for a new format for Canadian Mortgage Weekly. Thank you, Sam Thompson, for being part of the show. It's part of the creation and startup of the show since 2020. And thank you for being part of the team and working with us on these mortgages. And seeing the market the way it has been, as we
Yeah.
discussed, it's been quite an up and down roller coaster.
Mhm.
So it's going to be an interesting next little while to see where this roller coaster takes
Yeah.
the team going forward. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, everyone. As I said, follow, like, comment, and share. We'd love to hear your comments. We'd love to hear about what your thoughts were about this show and what your ideas are for the new format going forward. We'll continue putting out these videos so we can get important, pertinent information to each Canadian homeowner so they can help use this information to do their home purchase or home refinancing. So yeah, thanks for joining us today, Sam. And that's it for Thursday, August the 28th, 11:30 here. So
Yeah.
we'll see you next time. And we're going to sign off now.